Okay. Kayfabe is a girl I used to know one time ago. That's a Jim Cornette joke, or some bastardization of one. Yes. Before we start talking wrestling, this is Marking Out. Please subscribe.
Yes.
Like, comment, share.
So my first rap name, right, was Dwayne Doggy Dog.
Dog.
Shout out Snoop Dogg.
Dwayne Doggy Dog.
Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find a pearl. I love the way I live is what I holler to the world.
Welcome back to Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze.
Hold on. No, I gotta say, well, before we go any further, I gotta put this out there. We were talking about music, and because we do mic checks, 1, 2, mic check, and Run-DMC famously has a song that starts off 1, 2, 1, 2, and I say. So I was doing that. Now I'm dating myself, talking about Run-DMC, but then we start talking about, I mentioned that they inspired my very first rhyme. I'll get to that in just a second. Dwayne let us know that he said, man, I never thought about what inspired my very first rap. But he does remember that, like me, he was in the 6th grade when he did it.
Yeah.
Dwayne, would you please tell us what your nom de plume was?
So my first rap name, right, was Dwayne Doggy Dog.
Dog.
Shout out Snoop Dogg.
Dwayne Doggy Dog.
Yeah, I'll never forget that, man. I know I have all my rhymes that I've ever written. So I have everything. So I have it.
No kidding.
Oh, I have it.
That's amazing.
There's like this, how they have those 2-foot containers.
Yeah.
So I've got all my rhyme books.
Wow.
Every single one I've ever had.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, I got a few notebooks that are still around, but probably the one I'm most protective of is my notebook from prison when I was writing. But yeah, that's crazy, man. My first rap name was MC Doom.
MC Doom. All right.
Yeah, before MF Doom.
Okay.
I didn't know what an MF Doom was yet, and I'm not nearly as clever and cool as MF Doom, but my graffiti name was Doom. So when I decided, I remember stepping on stage in 7th grade doing a performance with, I can't remember these guys. There were 2 guys who allowed me to be part of their little thing. And I remember saying something about I'm MC Doom, and when I rap, the crowd goes boom, or something like that. But my first rhyme was inspired by Sucker MCs from Run-DMC. And it's that boom, pop, 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 boom, boom, pop. And you said 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme. So I said the rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was deaf and it went this way. Took a test to become an MC. The president was amazed at me. So something like that,
Right.
So my first rhyme, and I can't remember all of it. I just remember 2 years ago, my name was Joe when I lived in the projects with a beautiful hoe. And I went to Gratney Elementary School. And it was crazy because my father would have us on the weekends. So my mom was white. She listened to Top 40 radio, Y100. There was no rap on the radio yet. So the only time I heard rap music was on the weekends with my father when we go to Auntie Fat house for the cookout. Auntie Fat cooking. Cooking, Riding around. My father ride around on Sunday trying to find which auntie cooking that day, We go on there to eat. And that's where they be playing, R&B and soul and funk. And that's where I would get my seasoning.
Right on.
So I heard Run-DMC and I heard this. What is this? Like, wow. And it inspired, I can do that, And I remember writing that song and then just listening to Run-DMC and realizing man, I could put words together and make them rhyme. That's pretty cool. I could do that. But ultimately I was talking about the fact that now I am 52 years old. That's 5 and 2. And me making Run-DMC references to Brother Ryan behind the camera be the equivalent of when I was listening to Run-DMC, somebody referencing and I said doo-wop, but actually it's even more than it'd be like a 1930s.
Oh, damn.
Yes, we have no bananas, or some shit like that. Because we're talking about the early 80s all the way to Yeah, I don't know what to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
We can talk about it. But anyway, yes, I'm MVP. This is Dwayne Swayze. This is Marking Out. And
Well, see, now I want to tell you my second rap name.
Oh.
Because something just came to me. Do you remember? No, it wasn't. Some of the early music that I would have been given to you, I had just changed my name, and that was because of Monica. She was just like, yo, just use your real name, okay? Your real name sounds made up.
I mean, your real name does sound like a gimmick name anyway.
So. Just use your name. So anyway, it was S Boogie, S. Boogie. So my homeboys, all my homies call me Boogie, but where the S comes from is I used to tell all the chicks, you know, from way back in the day that my name was Stefan Brown. I just created a fake name, right? Because of Urkel. Because I wasn't quite, you know, I'm not no nerd. I'm the cool version of what this guy is. So
Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan Boogie Brown. That went to S Boogie. And then eventually when I started making a little bit more music and having to put my name on stuff to where it started to matter, Monica stepped in and said, hey, yo, we got to change this name.
Hey, Ryan, I understand why he loves Diddy so much. The progression of the names from my name to this, to this, to this.
Yeah. And then here we are, Dwayne Swayze.
I like Dwayne Swayze.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Real name.
Stefan.
No gimmicks.
You know, my for a little while, it wasn't my rap name, but it was my alias name that I would give sometimes. Kendall Starks.
Kendall Starks?
Kendall Starks.
Kendall Starks and Stefan Brown. I love it. I love it.
Kendall Starks and Stefan Brown. Hey, we need a cop buddy drama.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Kendall and Stefan.
That's wild, man. Hey, there you go, Shaka. Design. All right, so you ready to talk some wrestling?
Tango and Cash. Yes. Before we start talking wrestling, this is Marking Out. Please subscribe.
Yes.
Like, comment, share. And also, we'd like to introduce you to the Yamazaki 18 is joining us this week. As Dwayne tried to shame me in my locker several episodes back. We ain't having no more shame. We ain't doing that. Never no more.
I'm good now, guys.
So if you don't know about Yamazaki 18, let me tell you a little bit about this incredibly smooth Japanese single malt whiskey, aged 18 years. This is magnificent stuff. It tastes like silk, has those nice warm, kind of chocolatey notes. You know, like, this is for the sophisticated drinkers. If you're into this, then if you like that sophisticated, real smooth, high-end, high-priced single malt whiskey, this is going to run you probably about $800 a bottle at the liquor store, give or take. So this is definitely for those of you in the higher income bracket, you know. But nevertheless, we're drinking Yamazaki 18 today. Let's talk some wrestling.
All right. So for new viewers, what is kayfabe? How has it changed from the old days to now? And what should never change?
Okay. Kayfabe is a girl I used to know one time ago. That's a Jim Cornette joke, or some bastardization of one. Kayfabe was the term that wrestlers back in the day used to let you know that a non-wrestler was around, or it was the term to smarten you up. Kayfabe was the wrestling name for the secrecy of protecting the business. When we still presented professional wrestling as quote unquote real, if somebody came around who wasn't a part of the business and Dwayne and I were talking and I saw them walking up from behind, I said, kayfabe. And you'd stop talking about the business. Protecting kayfabe. I don't think anyone truly knows the real origins of kayfabe because I've heard a few different variations of where it came from. But it's universally known through the business as the secrecy of the business. So you would say keeping kayfabe, for example, was back in the day, the wrestlers had separate locker rooms. Everybody didn't dress in the same locker room because protecting kayfabe was protecting that we really didn't like each other, that you really are the good guys and we're really the bad guys. And that kayfabe was protected by the fact that guys didn't even talk before the match. You had to know how to work, get in the ring and call it on the fly. And if there was anything specific that needed to go back and forth, kayfabe was protected by the referee going back and forth. he would come and say, okay, Dwayne, tonight, MVP's up, ball shot behind the ref's back with a quick roll up. That's how you know what the finish
So,
is.
quick question though, P, but you're in the locker room, so fans can't see this.
Right.
So is it just workers, other people that work for the company that they're trying to not let in on?
Yeah, no, the kayfabe was only for people in the business. And if you were what we call back in the day, smartened up.
Yeah.
So it would just like people who worked in the building, they weren't allowed back there.
Oh, then why separate? Why heels one place and good
Because
guys?
the baby faces got to come out of one entrance and the heels got to come out of the other entrance. You come out of the same entrance.
Okay.
And yeah, even so, yeah, there were people that might be in the hallway in the building, certain areas, but like not in the dressing room. So they would say, "Oh yeah, I see them. They're in the same dressing room." You know, they don't know. I see them. They're over there, and we're over there. And even to add to it, like they got to have security back there to make sure that they don't, you know. So kayfabe was protecting the reality of the business. Kayfabe is dead. She's been dead a long time. A lot of people say that Vince murdered kayfabe when he came out and said that, hey, this is sports entertainment. It's a predetermined decision, et cetera, predetermined outcome. And even then, at that time, a lot of the territory promoters said, his shit is fake. Our shit is real. You're going to kill off the business for everybody. And Vince said, no, we are sports entertainment. And he did that in an attempt to not have to pay the athletic commissions, because we've already discussed athletic commissions. But the athletic commissions just came back and said, okay, we include pro wrestling on the athletic commission shit now too. So, kayfabe was the term used for the protection of the secrecy of the business. And I think one of the sad things about kayfabe being dead is that you've lost the mystique of wrestlers. Because when I was a little kid, I was deathly afraid of Abdullah the Butcher. I really thought he was a madman from Sudan with all that blood, and he would
Undertaker for me.
But okay, there you go, right? And now you see Undertaker with his wife, you know, talking like a regular person and, you know, having podcasts, and the mystique is gone. Now, because of social media, you have access to your favorite pro wrestler and you can interact with them. So I remember being a kid, you know, and the only time you were able to see wrestling was on your local channel for your local promotion and the wrestling magazines. And then you just saw photos of, you know, the Crimson Mask, you know, dudes bleeding, and steel cage matches and dog collar matches. And this was before MMA existed. And I always say wrestling was MMA before MMA. And I remember being a little kid thinking, who are these, man? Like, I would be scared to fight somebody bloody in a cage. And they're fighting. I can't wait till I see you on the 31st at the forum or whatever, you know? And to me, it was scary. And these men were behemoths, huge, scary men, beating the snot out of each other. That's gone now. Because now you know that we're not really fighting. And I, you know, everything evolves. And I understand that. And in today's day and age, pro wrestling couldn't exist as it did. But because I was fortunate enough to exist in a time where kayfabe was very much in place, I guess I just miss that mystique that came with, you know, who these wrestlers were, where they went, where they came from, or what they did. You know, you didn't know 24 hours that, you know, your favorite scary wrestler likes to bake cupcakes in his off time and puts it on his social media channel, you know, like, and that wasn't a shot at anybody. If anybody bakes cupcakes, I don't know. I like cupcakes. You know?
My favorite recipe.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kayfabe. Kayfabe is dead. Kayfabe doesn't exist anymore. And it's, but now the term kayfabe has been, you know, as wrestlers will all repurpose anything. Kayfabe just means, hey man, kayfabe, I was out at the club last night with that girl. I don't want my wife to find out, you know, or hey man, I got an ounce of weed in the car with kayfabe. You know, like, don't tell anybody.
Right.
So that's, you know, and good or bad, you know, like I said, there's lots of elements because, hey, we're making TV. We're doing television now. MMA is MMA. You want to watch real fighting? You've got a ton of MMA promotions out there. You want to watch entertainment fighting with a storyline, basically what I call soap operas for men, then that's what pro wrestling is. So that's kayfabe.
If a wrestler wants to protect kayfabe, like what habits should they should they build right now?
You can't protect kayfabe anymore.
You just can't. Okay.
You can't. Yeah, the kayfabe is dead. You know, I mean, I guess there are certain elements that you can try. For example, if you do a storyline, and sometimes it works where two wrestlers are having a match and it gets out of hand and it looks like, oh, they're fighting for real. Well, you can still get away with that sometimes, and you can sell that kayfabe like, no, they really don't like each other. Like, they're going to wrestle, but, ooh, there's some real heat there. And, you know, you can have, I just think back to Edge and Matt Hardy when they were going through it over Lita. Well, those matches were, they were being professional, but boy, they weren't holding back, you know. So I guess if you do a match where you kind of lead it up and put it out there on the dirt sheets and let these guys really get into stuff and let, you know, you can fake kayfabe, you know, and try to act, you know, but it's dead. You can't really protect. I don't think you can protect kayfabe anymore because the industry has killed off kayfabe. We know that pro wrestling is entertainment. And I think if you're one person trying to protect kayfabe by yourself, you look kind of silly. Like MJF, everyone knows he's a character, or, you know, but in the airport, I think he was being rude to Sherry Shepherd one time or something. And, you know, she was, you know, I got wrestling friends too, you know, whatever. And that worked for him for a while because it was so different because nobody else was doing it.
Okay.
So he was taking his character on the road and everywhere. If you came up to him, he was addicted. And people were like, man, what the hell, man? We're not accustomed to that. It's pro wrestling. We don't, you know, you're a wrestler. I see you on TV. I want your autograph. You know, screw you. Get out of here. Oh, wow, you know. But it worked for him because he was the only one doing it in that way. It was an anomaly. But it's just kind of industry-wide. It just doesn't work. She's dead. She died, you know.
Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Please share a lot. Tell everybody that you think would like this content because you enjoy it. Please share with them. Have them join us. Have them subscribe as well. And let's talk some more wrestling.
Yeah. And check out the Patreon in the pin.
Yeah, dig our Patreon.
Comment below.
Yeah, we overperform.
P, should wrestlers get paid extra for keeping storylines going on social media, like Kevin Hart being paid to promote his movies?
That's an interesting question. Swayze, you ask excellent question. So everything evolves, right? We always talk about everything evolving. Wrestlers' pay evolving. There was a time long ago when you only got paid for live events. You didn't get paid for TV because TV was a commercial for the live events.
Okay.
So back in the day when you would see that NWA Florida stuff, that studio in TV stuff, nobody got paid for that.
Wow.
You didn't get paid. Ask, you know, some of the OGs. Sometimes you hear Jim Cornette talk about it. TV, nobody got paid for TV because TV was, if anything, maybe you got paid trans, maybe, but you didn't get paid for TV because TV was to promote the upcoming live events. Coming to your town this Sunday, you know. So you got, and back then you almost always got to see the name guys beat up job guys. That's how the business was back then. What you got paid for, you made your money from the percentage of the gates, the live gates. So, you know, there you got a $100,000 house. A third of that gate was divided up to pay the boys. And then there was a hierarchy. You know, the main event got this much, and then so all the way down to the opening match. As time has gone on, by the time I made it to the WWE, yeah, we got paid for TV, but we got paid very little. Because again, back then, the way the model was, still, we got a third of the gate for the live house. And nowadays, it's funny, I laugh because I hear, I've heard Jim Cornette talk about it, and you hear guys talk about, hey, what's the house? How many people are out there? Back in the day, they asked, hey, what's the gate? I don't care how many people are out there. How much did they spend to be out there? You got 10,000 people out there, but only a $100 gate, you know?
Right.
But you got 10,000 people out there and they all paid $100 each. All right, now we got some money. A third of that is divvied up to pay the house. So by the time I came along, you know, for a house show loop on the weekend, you'd get like, I'm just spitting numbers here, but for example, and it also depended on the venue too, because if it was an older venue where it didn't cost as much to secure the venue, that means more money to go to the boys and girls, women, for wrestling. So, you'd get like an old convention center or something that we got, and we might get, $5,000. I get a $5,000 payday for that. That night I wrestled Matt Hardy, 12 to 15 minutes. I got $5,000 for that night. Like, oh shit, The next night, newer building, my house wasn't as great. Maybe I got $3,500 for that match. And then Monday, TV, Raw, $500 for TV. Because you got a brand new NBA arena, you got all the trucks, and so all of that would come out of the house.
Okay.
You get paid with what's left. That is gone. That doesn't exist anymore. Now you get paid the same every week, no matter what you do. A lot of places don't even have live events anymore. So the pay structure is so different that you're on a salary, and with social media now, it's weird because like with my social media, I weave in and out of, MVP, Hassan. So back in the day, you didn't get paid to promote. I'm inclined to say that I'm always for the boys getting paid. Should there be a special stipend in your contract that you'll promote a certain amount? Like certain influencers get paid $10,000 to post something 10 times, or whatever the number is. Like I don't get paid extra to promote AEW events or cards or, but I just do it maybe because it's just kind of ingrained in me, and we all do better if more people are watching. So I think you don't necessarily have to get paid to do it, but if you're putting it out there and people are tuning in, a rising tide lifts all ships. So,
bars.
So that's a thing where I don't necessarily see an argument for being paid to promote your match, your events coming up, but I'm never going to argue against the boys getting paid. Now, if you're a professional wrestler and you've got like influencer level numbers where people are paying you $10,000 to post something, then maybe that's something you can have in your contract where you negotiate with the promotion. Because my Instagram or TikTok is so influential, I will promote how a certain number of pay-per-views with a certain number of posts, and you could negotiate that number separately.
And that's probably where like Kevin Hart is then, right?
I'm sure in his contract, he has several he gets paid this much to act. He gets paid a per diem for this. He probably gets paid promotional fees. I'm sure there's a breakdown of how he's compensated, yeah. And appearances, like for us, you have to go and do the appearance and the signing or whatever. We used to get paid for signings, though. But like when you go do a media day, I don't get paid to do media days to go promote upcoming events. But I don't necessarily say no. And one of the things that I've talked to some of the young guys about, and I was hip to this when I was, early on, I figured out, like me and Keith Fletcher were talking about it recently. Kyle Fletcher. And I told him, I put him up on game. And I was like, hey, my nickname for him is Superstar. I said, hey, Superstar, remember, anytime you get a chance to be in front of the camera, if they want you to go do a media day, if they want you to do an interview, sometimes it's a pain in the ass, sometimes the timing's off, sometimes it's bothersome, sometimes you just want to be home. But you're in front of the camera. You're not just promoting your company, you're promoting yourself. So every time you get to go to a market and be on TV or radio promoting, hey, we're coming to town, you're the messenger telling the people that you're coming to town. So people aren't just seeing the company, they're seeing and hearing you. So you're promoting yourself as well. And no, you're not getting paid to do it, but you can't pay for that type of publicity for yourself. So I think there's a trade-off there. And so to summarize that, I can see the argument where now you don't need to get paid for promotion. And I put the caveat, unless you are like a major needle mover in the world of social media. But I'm never, ever, ever ever gonna advocate for the promoter over the boys.
Right on. So I got another follow-up. It's Vince McMahon related a little bit. So I believe it was Vince McMahon's last Hell in a Cell, and from my vantage point, the entire promotion behind that last Hell in a Cell that he was a part of was your Fallmighty diss song against Bobby Lashley. So you've got a song that goes to Spotify. You've got a music video, I think, that premieres multiple times during the pre-show to kick off the pay-per-view or the PLE. Is there anything extra for that, or that's just work?
That's just work. I got paid nothing for any of that. But again, there's a trade-off. Do I want an opportunity to have a video that features me and my bars in front of the WWE Universe? What would that cost me to do that?
True indeed.
It didn't cost me anything.
Right.
I didn't get paid to do it, but that's a trade-off that we made. Like you said, look at the visibility that was there. Fall Mighty's still, people still listening to it.
Right.
It's gone. It's past. But
everybody except for Bobby, probably.
Hey man, what was that one bar? Oh man, brains like Heenan. Oh, your name's Bobby, but I got the brains like Heenan. Yeah. That was a good joint. So yeah, it's a trade-off, And yeah, I didn't get paid anything for that. But I was all too happy to do it because I recognized what that did for me.
10-4. In John Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event, he ultimately tapped out to Gunther's sleeper in DC, and a lot of fans rejected the finish in the moment. So P, when fans hate a legend's retirement finish, what real backstage factors usually decide it anyway? Protecting the opponent, protecting the story, or protecting the legend?
Well, the old adage in our wrestling business is you come in on your back, you go out on your back. So you come in losing, learning, and you go out taking whatever cachet you built up, transferring it to another young star who finally beats you. And in this case, that's the classic situation of, Gunther's got a lot of cachet, a lot of momentum. Obviously, they think the world of him to give him that position to be able to beat John Cena with a submission, no less. John Cena's whole shtick through the years is never give up. Hustle, loyalty, respect, and never give up.
He's only submitted 4 times in his WWE career.
Once to Kurt Angle.
And that was the last one, 2004 to Kurt Angle. So it's been
20 years.
Yes, a long time, man.
20 years. John Cena don't tap. Well, let's keep in mind, John Cena ain't doing nothing he don't want to do. Like when people got so upset about Undertaker and the streak. Taker ain't doing nothing he don't want to do. Taker could have said, Vince, I'm not doing that. And what was Vince going to do?
No ebony playboys.
Nah.
That's him.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. But obviously, Taker had enough respect and appreciation for Brock to say, okay, I'll give up my prized, coveted, unbreakable streak for Brock. I didn't watch the match. I just watched the highlights. And to be fair, I'll say this, man, like, wrestling fans are so entitled and they think they know so much. And, they sometimes wrestling fans have an outsized opinion of what should and shouldn't be. Like, you watch a movie, you don't like the ending. Oh, the director should have done this, should have done that, whatever, You can have an opinion. But I'll say this. You've never heard me slander John Cena.
Nope.
I got nothing bad to say about that man. He's always good to me. He's always cool with me. Then one day we'll talk about when he came by the house to my studio and recorded a song with me that's never been released. Different conversation. But he always been all right with me. And I just watched him and I watched his leadership. That dude ain't complain about nada and worked harder than anybody. And I'm going to say that because I know how hard I worked. I know how hard people around me, we worked our asses off behind the scenes. You see the glitz and the glamour of the TV, but you don't see the travel and the working sick, working hurt. John Cena, I never heard him complain about anything. I just saw him be a leader, work his ass off, work through injuries, work through inclement weather. I remember being in places where it was double digits below outside, and Cena shows up in his jorts.
On brand.
And let's keep in mind that for 20 years, John Cena carried WWE. Let me say that one more again for your ass. John Cena carried WWE for 20 years. He was the man, the headliner. Sold more merch, sold more tickets. He was that guy. I've said in the past that I won't tolerate Cena slander because that man thrived under pressure that would crumble most people. They couldn't even begin to handle the pressure that he thrived under as the face of the WWE. There were times when that dude wasn't home, literally, for weeks. From one show to the next promotional thing, to the next thing, to the thing, back on the road. So I can only imagine what his body feels like at this stage of the game. And as somebody who actually grapples legitimately, listen, let me tell you, I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've been doing this for 12, 13 years now. I've been choked out a lot of times, many, many times. And sometimes when you're rolling with somebody who is better than you, or even somebody that's kind of on your level, and they get you, and you slip up and you make that mistake, and you're like, oh, damn, they got me. You smile, you give the tap, like, you got me, man, good one, Yeah. All right, let's set up, let's go, So smiling when you get tapped out isn't, realistically, it's not unbelievable.
But Pete, I did watch it, right?
Okay.
So you got 19,232 people inside of this arena.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the millions and millions at home, and we're watching, and every single time it felt like we were getting Super Cena, it was Gunther would do something to cut him off. And then he'd build back up, and then we get a cut off again. And then he built back up. It seems like it was going.
So you weren't sure who was going to win?
We had no clue.
You thought Cena might pull the.
Yes.
And pull it off and get out of it.
Yes.
And retire undefeated. Or not undefeated, but
It honestly felt that way. And I think I told you before, when something's real good to me, I find myself wherever, if I'm in the bed or sitting on a couch or something, I'll find myself standing up and then getting a little bit closer until I'm right up on the TV. And I'm right there like, come on, Cena. And I never was rooting for Cena. I was always on the other side of Cena sucks. I love him, respect him. But I was on the other side. But now, at my big grown age, right? And seeing Cena at 48 years old doing this, it was 36 appearances, 15 matches over this last year. And it felt like 20 years ago. And I think that's why everybody was booing, because our childhood ended when he smiled and he winked and he tapped out. Childhood. Over. It was done.
So obviously, I don't quite have the fans' perspective. I saw it from two perspectives, from the jiu-jitsu background. When I've been caught, I was like, oh, fuck, you got me. I had tapped out. And then I saw it from the perspective of a professional wrestler who's been in the game for over 20 years, grinding. I know what my body feels like. I have never had the blessing and curse of being the man, being the face of a company, carrying the title, I've never had that. But I've been around it. I see what it is. I've carried a title for a long time. I've been a featured player. And what I saw was, first of all, what you saw with, is Cena going to do it? That's the epitome of what we do. Reel him in. You went from where you were laid back to leaning up to moving a little closer to the edge of the bed to as we say, the edge of your seat.
10-4.
Cena and Gunther had you literally on the edge of your seat. You didn't know what was going to happen. That is the essence of what we do. That's what pro wrestling is. What I saw, the pro wrestler in me saw a guy go, it's time. And in a kayfabe, we talked about kayfabe earlier, in the kayfabe sense, Cena could be presented as he smiled because he realized Super Cena would have got out of this. I almost did a few times. Father Time is undefeated. This has been a hell of a ride, but okay, it's time. And I heard people, Cena never give up. You should never give up. He gave up. Father Time's undefeated. At some point, you have to give up. You have to realistically give up. When you're 85 years old, you can't run fucking 40-yard sprints anymore. You know?
And it's been a while.
So I didn't see anything wrong with it. I can see the heartbreak, oh, my hero. And I get that. And that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be some sorrow, some sadness. Like, the cowboy's going to ride off into the sunset. The injured gunman, he's leaking blood, but he's riding off. He's riding off to die. Shane ain't coming back.
Yeah, right up.
You know that.
Right up.
So I can understand, people emoting how they want, feeling how they want, and, the backlash against the booking of it. But I say, regarding the booking, Cena is a company man. He's going to do what he's asked to do. He almost always does. But I think this is one of those things where Cena is a consummate professional, and he is into the tradition. He respects the heritage and the tradition. He's that guy. He went out on his back, and he went out in the most meaningful way. He didn't just get pinned. He tapped out.
Yeah.
He gave up. That's the biggest possible gift he could give to Gunther. Yeah, Gunther could have pinned him 1, 2, 3, but for him to choke Cena out and Cena to tap.
John Cena.
John fucking Cena. John Cena.
Tino.
He gave up. He finally gave up. It was time. And I think he smiled because either it was just like, okay, it's time to go. We're finally here. It's over now. Or, as I said, from a jiu-jitsu perspective, God damn, he got me, man. I can't get out of this. All right, you got me, bro. Yeah. And I'm going to raise my glass to Cena because whether you love Cena, whether Cena sucked, whatever your position was, Cena's a once-in-a-lifetime guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the pleasure and honor of sharing the locker room with him, sharing the ring with him, sharing beers with him, sharing whiskey with him, sharing the studio with him.
Yep.
He gave me some pretty good insight through the years. And anytime that I ever needed time, he had it for me. And time was probably the one thing he had the least of. So here's to John Cena.
Thank you, Cena.
Hustle, loyalty, and respect. And I forgive you for taking my shit. I forgive you.
Well,
And you hijacked it and turned it into this. And this would, that you know, but I forgive you, John. Here's to John Cena. Best wishes. See you down the road, brother.
We've done it again.
One more game, man. Man, we've gotten pretty good at this.
Episode 37.
Man, we're not even 50 episodes in, and we got this shit, man.
We're on the road to 50. We got to do something special for
Something
that.
special for 50, yeah, for sure. We'll get something special in. That's just a good episode, too.
Yeah.
Good gems in there. But that's the beauty of the Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze podcast. Every week I'm giving you gems. Polished, hand-cut gemstones. Worth millions of dollars if you know what to do with them.
Millions.
Shout out to Wallow and Gilly. Millions of dollars of game. $1 million worth of game.
Worth of game, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving you millions of dollars worth of game. Plural. And if you're a fan, I'm giving you a peek behind the scenes and some perspective. And, sometimes I give my opinion and sometimes you agree with it, sometimes you won't. But I also enjoy giving the timeline. It used to be like this historically, and now it's like this because I've been here all along. Well, not all along, but for a while now. My body says so. But yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, share, holler at us in the comments. Either Dwayne Swayze, not a bot, will actually be responding to your comments. Sometimes a manager, Richard, you'll see him pop up, liking and commenting as well, usually speaking on my behalf. If you got some shit to say and Cousin Rich sees it, he gonna let you know. Or he might ask me, hey, what about this? Yeah, go fuck that. Say whatever. That's a wrap, huh?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Check out the Patreon. Please go to Patreon. The linked comment is in the description below. Yeah, check it out, man. We got some really good stuff on there. And there's at least 3 exclusive videos coming from MVP every month.
I just want to say one more thing. I didn't get paid for this, but David Allen. David Allen. Custom made for Mr. Hassan Assad. Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to get it.
DA, it's David Allen. Made for Hassan Assad. MVP's the guy that Hassan Assad plays on TV. And on that note, shout out to Shinichiro Watanabe. If you know, you know. If not, go look it up. See you, Space Cowboy.
I just lay back in something new. Whiskey 21 and over, low ball. Make it too neat, Dizzer from Harlem. Yeah, I'm from Houston, off of Fondren. Mike Mazan and real world flow. Plant these seeds in the streets and in weeks, watch it blossom. Dark night, riding on chrome, swinging through Gotham. It's me and P, repaving these